Hundreds of Kosovo Serbs, some masked, have set fire to border posts along the new country's border with Serbia. The worst violence of the new country's first 48 hours came as the EU's foreign policy chief flew in to offer support. Protesters swamped the crossing points in Leposavic and Zubin Potok, forcing police to take shelter. NATO-led peacekeeping troops were sent in to restore order. Our Foreign Affairs correspondent Paton Walsh reports.
This is how some of Kosovo's Serbs reacted today to the symbols of a new state. Brought to this border post by 30 buses, we're told. They threw stones. Serbian flags held high, and the property of the new Kosovan police force dispensed with. Bulldozers apparently used to dismantle a checkpoint that separates their Serbian enclave in the north of Kosovo from Serbia proper. Police forced to hide nearby and call in NATO troops to restore order. It's what many feared. 48 hours after Kosovo drew new borders, some of its Serbs are trying to rub them out. The European Union, divided among its members over this new state, flew in its foreign policy chief to make a show of support, even if just for the EU colours of Kosovo's new flag.
I think it's very pretty, and I like everything that is in it. I see that it's yellow, that is stars, that is blue. Beautiful.
Smiles, Kosovo playing down the violence.
This light incident will not damage the celebrations we've been having in the past days.
Yet in Mitrovica, more visible anger against Western intervention. 3 explosions overnight, hitting UN vehicles and NATO vehicles smashed up with sticks. Russia said today support for the new Kosovo threatened the destruction of the world order. But Washington was unrepentant.
History will prove this to be a correct move to bring peace to the Balkans.
At tense UN meetings, many of the countries opposing Kosovo have separatist problems of their own. Spain fears this may embolden Basque separatism and were quick to back away from formal recognition, as was Slovakia, with a big ethnic Hungarian population, and the most vocal opponent, Russia, has been entangled in a series of separatist wars across the former Soviet Union, and it's awoken fears of secession from China by Taiwan. NATO troops in response closed these roads between Kosovo and Serbia. Nobody was hurt today, but worryingly, amid the wreckage, the Balkans again saw its borders disputed by force.
Well, earlier I spoke to the Deputy Prime Minister of Serbia, Božidar Đelić. I put it to him that given most people in Kosovo are Albanians who favour independence, do they not have a right to it?
It's an old story of self-determination, but I can also tell you that the vast majority of inhabitants of Serbia are actually non-Albanian, and so there is an old saying in the Balkans, why should I be your minority when you can be mine? And that shows the limits to self-determination, and for sure that's not a justification to divide a peaceful, democratic country such as Serbia. And if those in the United Kingdom and other places would think that this is a way for the Serbs to pay for Milosevic, well, I was a member of the Đinđić government and I voted with my colleagues to extradite Milosevic to The Hague. And my colleagues today from the Prime Minister and President are the people who have unseated Milosevic, and therefore seeing some kind of collective punishment for Serbia by taking away Kosovo is definitely not a just way forward.
But surely this is just the last piece in the Balkan jigsaw, that the independence of Kosovo was the inevitable final step, and it has happened, and you have to just accept that now. That there isn't going to be anywhere else that breaks away.
Well, actually, it's quite the contrary. The last element of the puzzle would have been a negotiated settlement between Belgrade and Pristina, and our government has proposed on several occasions a very modular and constructive approach and proposal, which by no means pretended to run the everyday life of the Kosovo Albanians and took in full account of the very difficult years that they had to suffer under Milosevic. But for some reason, the international community did not do anything to promote such a compromise. Now, the Pandora box is open, and in a way that Kosovo Albanians did not have loyalty to Belgrade, as you can see today, non-Albanians have no loyalty to Pristina.
Explain to our viewers why you feel so betrayed here.
Well, it is because we are an internationally recognized country, which is democratic and peaceful, which has proposed to negotiate a settlement. And for some reasons, one part of the international community is trying to force a partitioning of our country. And this is the part of our country where the state was born, where the center of the church is, where many historical events have happened, and where many of our citizens, mind you, me too, had family being ethnically cleansed from Kosovo. So this is a very important element in our national psyche. You know, in the United Kingdom, remember the way the sentiment ran for the Falkland Islands. And that's kind of far away from England, isn't it? And this is in the heart of our country, and this is part of our country, and it will always be.
The Serbian Deputy Prime Minister